Lifestyle photos can really help you share your story and build your brand online. But if you're anything like me, the idea of taking photos of yourself where you're posing in a way that doesn't look like you're posing is just super weird. I am not a model, I'm awkward, and I don't have a background in photography, but ever since I started incorporating lifestyle photos in my social media content, that's when I really started to notice a growth in my audience, in the number of inquiries I would get for the services that I offer, and just overall increased engagement online. So in this video, I'm going to share a few things that have helped me get comfortable with taking photos of myself and creating lifestyle content for my personal brand. Before I was a content creator, I always associated lifestyle content with this genre of advertising where you'd see gorgeous, beautiful people kind of showcasing what it's like to wear certain types of clothing or drive certain cars, stay at these hotels, wear this perfume, whatever the product or service is. So it never even occurred to me that not only is lifestyle content something that you could DIY, but it's definitely something that you should incorporate into your online branding. Lifestyle content is so effective because it's about intention. You as the creator or the entrepreneur are being intentional in what you're communicating to your audience. This is what I want you to know about my brand and my business and my story and me. This is how I'm different from other people who are doing something similar to what I'm doing. It sounds elementary, but I really did need to have that understanding and approach lifestyle content with this mentality. Otherwise, I would have never gotten comfortable with taking photos of myself. I would have always had that awkwardness, that weirdness of oh, I'm posing, but this is me, candidly working and whatever. All of that comes through when you're taking photos. So I know that my goal is to show people what I look like when I'm completely in the zone, doing my thing, working with a client, planning my videos, stuff like that. The other thing I needed to understand about lifestyle content is that selfies are not lifestyle content. Not that there's anything wrong with selfies, but a selfie is essentially a picture of your own reflection from your point of view. And your goal with lifestyle content is to showcase what you look like in your element from an observer's point of view. What do you look like when you're completely focused on the thing that you're creating? So if you have a YouTube channel, what do you look like when you're immersed in your video creating process? Or if you have a service-based business, what do you look like when you're working with a client and you know you've made a difference for them? Or if you are trying to make something, what do you look like when you're using the tools of your trade and you're building something new? Having this understanding and just being more aware really did make it easier for me to create lifestyle content, but here's a few other things that helped as well. First, enlist a helper. What better way to capture an observer's point of view than to actually have an observer take your photo? You could definitely hire a photographer and just have a professional take your lifestyle photos for you. They would know how to pose you. They have experience getting people to be comfortable in front of the camera. But if you are doing the DIY approach and you're just having a friend help you, you want to try to make sure to pick someone that you feel comfortable with and there's that level of trust there. And it's someone who knows your business, because I know for me, obviously Tom is the helper who helps me take my photos. But even with him, it's great that we have that level of trust, because sometimes I still get up in my head and I'm so conscious of the camera and trying to pose a certain way because I want this certain look for a photo. But Tom is so good about reminding me hey, it's too forced. You look too forced. You look like you're trying too hard. You don't even look like that when you're working. And he does such a good job of resetting me to make sure that I could focus on, actually just scripting out my videos or, pretending like I'm emailing back a client or whatever, and just really try to be in that mind space so he can capture that. Number 2, find inspiration. Whether you're on Pinterest or Instagram or whatever social media platform, most social media platforms allow you to save content and create your own folders in the platforms. So when I'm scrolling through my own social media feeds, I save the photos that really stick out to me so that I can use them as references when I create my own content. Because I know that, hey, if that photo already made an impression on me, then hopefully it can also make an impression on my audience when I use my own face, my own story, my own perspective, whatever. If I try to come up with my own poses, the whole thing would just take forever, which brings me to my next point. Number 3, plan a photo shoot. I try to take as many lifestyle photos as I can in a single session or a single afternoon, because my goal is to create a photo library of my own content so that when I'm planning my social media posts for the month, I can go to my own stock photo library that's just full of pictures of my brand and my face and my story, and just pick the right photo that matches whatever it is that I want to say. Taking lifestyle photos is such a process. The setup, the breakdown, the planning of outfits, the poses, especially if we're using multiple locations and stuff like that. So when I go into a session or an afternoon, I try to have all of my references on the ready. I have all my outfits planned. I have all the locations and the backdrops and stuff like that. So it really just is a matter of showing up, having Tom help me, take the photo, and it's just boom, boom, boom. Number 4, use editing apps. There are so many free editing apps nowadays, regardless of the device or the platform that you're using. I personally use Snapseed to edit all of my photos on my iPhone because the platform that I post most of my lifestyle content is on Instagram. So I know that most of the people consuming my content are on mobile, so I don't need any crazy Photoshop editing. And even though I'm just doing basic editing, maybe brightening up my face, changing the color temperature and stuff like that, it can make a huge difference. So because there's so many free editing apps, I definitely encourage you to take that extra step and try to enhance your photos. And lastly, number 5, invest in your copy. Your photo is really meant to capture the attention of your viewer, right? So they're in their social media feed, they're scrolling through an infinite amount of content, and your photo is meant to kind of have them pause on your content so that they can read your description and go to your profile and consume more of your content and spend more time with you. So here's an example of the copy from my last Instagram post. It's this long, it's a whole page, single-spaced, where if I have an idea for something I want to post on Instagram, it usually starts with an idea I want to share or concept. So I start writing it, and then once I'm done writing the copy, I'll go into my photo library of lifestyle content and try to find the picture that best complements what I'm trying to say. And the reason why I know that this works is because when people leave me replies or comment on my photos or send me DMs, they're actually talking about what I said in my super long description. So you'd be surprised. People actually take the time to read the content, even if it's super long. So make sure not to underestimate the power of your copy. You can also take things a step further by creating lifestyle video content. So if you want to see how I edit my videos in iMovie, check out this video here.